Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mai, and this week's video is my very last video of the year, which is very exciting. And to commemorate the occasion, I thought it would be really cool to mix the new expansion pack with the holiday season and make this really cute kind of UK inspired inn. And when I was looking at inspiration photos, I noticed that a lot of these are kind of like the buildings are very close together. And so I thought it would be really cool to make an adjoining pub that kind of acts as just like a shared space for the tenants that are staying at the inn. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. The inn itself ends up having 4 guest rooms, and in 2 of them there is a double bed, and then in the other 2 you have 2 single beds. They each have their own bedroom, and then downstairs, at the downstairs area of the inn, they share a kitchen, a dining space, and a living room, as well as the pub next door. And on the second floor of the pub, I actually included a proprietor's apartment. So I imagine that the innkeeper is also the pub keeper, and they just live up there. And it's just like a studio. Obviously, if when you play in this you want to live off property, you can just rent that unit out as well, or leave it as a shared space for some reason. I mean, whatever you want. But yeah, each of the units kind of has a theme, which it's the first time that I tried that out, to give each unit their own theme, and I gave them all really cute names. I guess I'll tell you later when we're actually furnishing the rooms, so then you can actually see the themes that I'm talking about. But we are finishing up the exterior here. I decided to mix some of the like get-together items with the cottage living items so that it doesn't feel like way too matching. But yeah, we are also working on the floor plan. We already have the units upstairs, and we have here just a hallway to the staircase and a reception, a dining room, and the kitchen like I was talking about before. I am actually really impressed that I was able to give this inn like both a very spacious feel and a cozy feel. I was able to include a lot of hobby items or like skill building items and activities both in the inn and the pub, so it ended up looking really, really cool, and I just love all the little details I was able to add. I was struggling to figure out the shape that I wanted for the bathrooms, because I wanted to make sure that they were all functional, but that they didn't create any like awkward spaces in the corner. So that was a little bit difficult, but I do figure it out later on. The reason also that I thought of doing the proprietor's apartment here in the second floor of the pub was because the roof was clipping in. And so I thought, you know what, if I'm going to use the entire space, that would be a really cool way to use it. And the unfortunate thing about the pub is that it won't really have that many people to really fill it up. I don't think that there's going to be like a bartender unless you bartend, just because it's going to be a shared space pretty much of just the people that are renting out the guest rooms. And so it won't really function like a bar lot would, where, you know, more people would spawn. But I do think it's still a really cool place to have like events and parties, and you know, in that way you'll be able to create the atmosphere on your own. And here we are starting off with the reception area with furnishing, and yeah, it's a really cute, really cozy. I think it's very inviting. I really like that little desk that I used in the back, which is from the Werewolves pack. I think that it completes the look here. I didn't put a computer on it though, because I didn't want this to be a very technologically advanced inn. I wanted it to really prioritize like reading and community, and I don't know, I wanted it to have more of like a bed and breakfast feel. And since that reception area has to be a shared room, I didn't want to put a computer and have the Sims just like always be playing video games, because you know how Sims are. I even like was considering not putting in a TV. Later on, when I do some of like the detail work at the end, or as I like to call it, the post-production, I do put in one of those frame TVs, or the frame TV from the Modern Luxe kit, just above the fireplace, so that it like subtly blends in, but I think, you know, it'll help the rating of the inn, and maybe you can have like movie nights with the tenants or something like that. And while we are on the topic of the living room, here I am fidgeting around a lot with the layout that I wanted. I also fidget around with a lot of the colors, the rugs, pretty much everything. I wanted it to stay on theme of having like bringing in the green of the walls and everything, but in the end I actually end up making this a little bit more red and brown, at least just like the furnishing of the living room, or like the living space, so the couches, the love seat, the armchairs, all of that. And I think it ends up, I don't know, the contrast is really nice, and I think especially because I built this around like Christmas and everything, like the green and the red, it just worked. Usually I don't like using that combination because it's too Christmassy, but I think in this space during this time it was definitely called for. And I really like here I also added a chess table. I imagine that room gets really lively around the evening time maybe, and yeah, here we are already starting on the dining room. The dining room came together quite quickly. I pretty much knew exactly what I wanted. I knew the color scheme. I knew that I wanted just a lot of seats, and I don't know, I wanted it to just feel like a big fancy dinner room. Like I imagined people coming down for breakfast and, you know, it being filled with chatter, and yeah, I really like how it turned out. We are starting also on the kitchen now, since the dining room came together so quick, and I also struggled here figuring out the color scheme. I had a really hard time figuring out what color I wanted the counters and the appliances. I felt like there was nothing that really worked with the rest of the spaces that I had already furnished. In the end, I figured it out, but then I struggled with the layout of the kitchen because I really wanted it to just be an L shape and to have like two separate cooking areas. But when I went to put in the sink, I realized that I needed a little bit more space, and I turned it all around, and in the end, I do like how it turned out. And even though the space in the middle feels really empty, in post-production, I add kind of like an entryway table. It's the one that has the tablecloth on it. You'll see it in the screenshots, but I put it in the middle as kind of like an extra surface, which technically in The Sims wouldn't work as an extra surface, but I think it still looks nice and kind of just completes the room. And you do see me fidgeting a lot here with the cabinets. This is also what made me have to kind of change the layout of the kitchen, because yeah, I just couldn't really find the right cabinets, the right shapes, and make it look the way that I wanted, try to make it a little bit more harmonious. I fidgeted around a lot trying to like use a mismatched one with the cabinets from, I think it's called the Country Kitchen Kit. But yeah, I slowly figure it out, but I spend so much time like moving things around and just being completely unconvinced, but still super stubborn and wanting it to work. But yeah, here I think in a little bit I do give up and just decide to kind of leave that space to the left between the stove and the kitchen, or sorry, the fridge, a little bit more open. And then afterwards in post-production, I add just like a couple of decorations between there. And here I put a teapot, the tea brewer maker thing. Since I named the inn a spot of tea, I decided, you know, obviously I have to have tea. Also, I feel like every little inn is gonna have a lot of tea. And I also put in a lot of like of the teapot decorations. And I think that, I don't know, it really helps the theme. Here you can see me putting one in the reception area. I think I really liked adding a theme to this. I'm definitely gonna do that more often. I think also, especially for the little inns, it adds a lot of character to have a theme. Here we are starting on the bedrooms though, which is very exciting. You'll slowly see the themes coming through. Here we have this kind of like blue yellow room. It is mostly blue, but I wanted to use that bed that had the patterns on it with the yellow as well. And you'll see when you download it that I named this room the Sands and Sea room, I think. Sands and Seas, probably, something like that. Because I gave all of the rooms kind of a little nature name to go with their color theme. Like this slightly pink and green one, I called Strawberries and Mint, I'm pretty sure, which I don't know if those two words make sense together, but I thought it was cool, and I can definitely imagine an adorable little innkeeper coming up with all of these names as they were furnishing and picking out the colors and the sheets and the wallpapers, and just having so much fun with it. I mean, I know I did. I think I'm imagining that I'm the innkeeper here. But yeah, that one, the ones with the single beds, I called the brown one Begonias and Bunnies, and I called the like yellowy one, I think I called it Lemons and Acorns. I don't know. I was just trying to come up with a cute little theme to go with it. I spent a lot of time figuring it out, but I am talking over the start of the pub furnishing. I really love how the pub turned out. I've never actually made a pub, so I don't know. This was kind of like it was a big idea for me to do this. I wasn't really sure how it was going to look or if it was going to work or anything, but in the end, I think it looks really gorgeous. I might have added too many tables and it might look a little bit empty considering like the way that the lot is going to work. So hopefully you have a lot of events here and make it feel a little bit less empty. But yeah, I used the tables. I think all the tables that I used were from Discover University, and then the chairs that I used are actually from the Sims 4 for Rent. So they are from the new pack and they had the perfect color swatch to go in this pub. And yeah, here I add the bar, I put in a couple of sinks, I make it look like, you know, they actually do use it as a bar and have, you know, their cups and their olives back here. Later in post-production, I put an olive clutter, the jar, and yeah, it looks really nice. I really like the flowers as well. I think it really cuts through the darkness of the wood, which, although it is very on theme for a pub, might be a little bit overpowering for the eye. But here we are actually working on the proprietor's apartment. And in my head, they were somebody that was like really eccentric and really loving and really sweet. And they loved color and flowers and patterns. And yeah, this is just like their little haven away from it all. And it just ends up looking so cute and it's so colorful. And I don't know, this is a wallpaper that I don't use very often because it's really hard to match with like any of the items. But I think when I threw out the idea of matching it with other items, it all came together really, really quick. There's a really cute little kitchenette, and I love the little dining area that I put in the corner, like in the little bay window area. I think it all turns out so, so nice. And here in the corner, I put in the bed, but I play test it after, and it doesn't really work. So I end up switching it around a little bit. But we are finally on the screenshots. Here you can see the full exterior, all of the little details that I added, the phone booth, the mailbox, the signs so that you know which is which and where to go. I think that it completed it. And here you can see a little bit of the back of the yard. We'll get a closer look later on, but this is what the back of the build looks like from afar. And yeah, I love the landscaping. I spent a lot of time on the landscaping. I mean, this innkeeper is gonna care about their garden. I also love the little bird bath. I think it's so nice to add that to your different builds. It always makes it that much sweeter. Here's the hallway and the reception area. It just feels so inviting, and here you just have a little peek over. You can see a little lamp that I put on a nightstand next to the desk, and just another little bits and bobs of clutter. Here is the public bathroom, or like shared bathroom, that I put coming off of the reception, as well as some laundry machines, so washing machine and dryer, just in case you need it. And here is the living room. You can see the TV. I put on the coffee table like the tea tray that comes with my wedding stories, which I think it was pretty much made for this. And I love this shot where you can see the reception and the dining tables, or like the dining room, through the arches. And here is the dining room. Again, another shot. I love when you can see through the arches. I think it makes it feel like so open, and yeah, it's just really inviting and cozy at the same time. Here's the kitchen, and that's the entryway table that I was talking about with the fruit bowl on it. I think it makes it, I don't know, the wrap around kitchen, I think it really fills up the space really nice. And in real life, if it was functional, you would be using it. Here's another shot of the hallway. I included a little umbrella holder, and there is a little shot view of the stairs and the upstairs hallway as well, with the 4 rooms. This one is the begonias and bunnies room. I don't know, I really like the beige color. It's very soft and very, I don't know, it's very cozy. And this is the lemon and acorns room. So it has a lot of yellow, a lot of the deep browns, and I really like the stools that I added just to kind of fill in that space and yeah, give them a little something more to sit on and do in these rooms. Since they are just supposed to be guest rooms, I didn't really put too many hobby items inside the rooms, unfortunately, but the shared spaces I think do help. This is the only shot that I kind of included of what the bathrooms look like for the guest room. So they each have one that looks like this, except the difference is that the rooms that have the 2 single beds don't have a window in their bathroom because it's against the pub. But I don't think that you really need it. And here's the Sands and Seas room. I think it looks really cute. And the garden. I love the way the garden turned out. I was able to put in this little table, a lot of like little planters and gardening items. And here you can see the gnome with the tray. That is my favorite part of the entire build, was just that gnome holding the tray. I think, again, it was something that was just made for this build. And here we are entering the pub, and you can see I really love the red phone booth. I think it was just, again, made for this. I love all the little details that I got to add. This build didn't really feel as overwhelming as I thought it would, so I'm very glad, because when I first thought of the idea, I was expecting to be just so stressed about finishing this and making it look perfect. But I think it just came together really easily and really nicely. There you can see the olive jars that I added as clutter, because obviously you need that at the bar. And in the corner of the pub here, I put the piano and I put a bunch of trophies on top, because I imagine that the people that stay here a lot or that visit a lot, I don't know, maybe have little teams and things, and they won trophies on behalf of the pub and the inn. I just thought it would be a really cool idea, a really cool detail to add. And here at the back of the bar, I just added some garbage cans and, I don't know, a little seat to maybe take a little breather from the loud noises and look at the water. And here's the little hallway, the little kind of, I guess, mezzanine that looks out onto the front door. This is the pub bathroom. So there's 2 of these. They're exactly identical. And here we can see the studio apartment, which also a lot of really cute little details and clutter that I got to add. And I love how much personality this has, and that I really let myself go with making it look perfect. And I think it ended up looking perfect once I finally stopped trying to make it look perfect, which is probably a philosophy that I need to incorporate in every part of my life. But here in the kind of bed nook, like I said before, it wasn't playable, but I did fix it, and I think it looks even better now. But this does actually bring us to the last few shots of the exterior. This was such an incredible build. I'm really, really proud of it. I hope that you guys had a lovely holiday season and have a lovely new year. Bye buds, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, comment, and share with your friends. Talk to you soon. Bye!